Mic. They got a karaoke machine.
Well, it stops streaming to YouTube. I mean, we can mute and stop video too, right? Until the applicant comes. Right. Can mute and stop video until the application is here. We can.
Legs. All right, let's call the meeting to order of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Zoning Board of Appeals, ZBA. Yeah. Okay. Did you think you were coming to a different meeting? Oh. Like planning board, this is not that. Roll call. Tim Hamilton is here.
Mike Schlossberg is here.
Dave Breeden is here.
Okay, we have a quorum of 3. Our applicant doesn't seem to be here, but maybe Tom can talk us through the application. and the variance and what they're looking for?
So the folks at 22 Bleak Street would like to convert an existing garage to a two-story structure that has a garage on the bottom and an apartment on the top. There are a couple of variances that need to be granted. One is an area variance. I guess they're all area variances, excuse me. The existing structure, they want to use the same footprint, is less than the required 15-foot for a residential structure on the side and 35 in the back. In addition, the lot is only 13,109 square feet, where the required lot for a dwelling, a single dwelling, is 15,000. If you are going to put an additional dwelling on, you need another 7,500 square feet. What is that? 2250. So, there's real stuff to consider there.
Gosh.
The attached drawings show, nice structures, and the company that is looking to build it does nice, neat work. I don't think that's going to be a concern, but the location and the amount of square footage on the lot would be our concerns.
So they are planning to rebuild the entire structure.
That's
what
my
I
understanding. Yeah,
On the same footprint.
correct.
But where does the exterior stairs align? Is that going to encroach even more into the setbacks? The stairs?
It looks like it.
Yeah, it does look like it from the drawing.
I mean, are the stairs in the back?
They're on that back patio, right? They're
They're opposite the
Opposite the front, the doors of the,
overhead doors. So, yeah.
and the back is what is too close to the lot
Well,
line.
for an accessory structure, it's fine, and there's 8 feet, but for a dwelling, they want 35.
Right, presently, it looks like there is a brick patio,
Yeah,
and that's in that 8 feet.
correct.
And they want to put the steps in that space,
Mhm.
which obviously they're probably 4 feet wide, I would assume, or something along that line. 3 to 4 feet wide they're gonna be. I can't read these little. Okay, so that's encroaching as well in the definition of it being a dwelling
Mhm.
as opposed to an accessory building,
Yeah.
right?
And you could see where they may not want to bring the structure out more into the yard because of the proximity to the existing house.
They're trying to leave a little bit of space. I can't read. Is there a number there?
No, there's just
Okay.
a asterisk or
All
star.
right. Yeah, no, not until we open for public comment. So. Yeah,
So
go ahead, Dave.
why couldn't they put it to what is my right to,
In the yard,
that huge area of yard that's just sitting there not doing anything on the former lot line?
right? Is there a curb cut as far as you know
Yes,
on Widge Street? They
Yeah.
presently have a curb cut going to this driveway,
correct.
which if they did anything else, they'd have to have a new curb cut.
But the driveway doesn't make it to the garage.
No, but that is where the driveway is going to be
I see.
and extend, if I read it correctly.
Yeah,
They're gonna extend the driveway to that. Curb cuts are a big deal. As far as what people, I mean, I think there could be a contingency where you would require them to relocate it, put in a new curb cut and eliminate the curb cut they have.
Mhm.
Which means they're gonna have to do work there. They have to do work to replace that curb. As opposed to having 2 curb cuts. I don't know if we have any zoning about curb cuts, but. You can do any kind of contingency you want
yeah.
as far as a variance.
I mean, I didn't understand that they were gonna completely raise the structure, but if they're gonna flatten it like a pancake. it seems
Well,
like-
initially they started talking about using the garage and building up from there, but the foundation apparently is inadequate.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and how old is this structure? I didn't go by to see, how old's the house and?
I'm not
Any
sure of
guess?
the age of the house, but I would guess early 1900s. And probably the garage came along sometime after that, but it's certainly not modern.
Right. I mean, probably they're thinking, total new pad, everything. New
Yeah,
Foundation.
yeah, I think it's just a slab on grade,
Right.
not even a haunched slab, which
No,
is
not even like
compliant.
reinforced like footers on the sides to carry the weight
Right,
of a structure. I'm assuming these are professional drawings.
yeah. Yeah, this is
Okay.
Stream Collaborative,
Okay.
and that's why Noah's recused, that
Okay.
he works for them.
Okay. So the extent of the variance seems to be, it matches the front setback. It does not match the side setback or the rear setback. And it does fall under the height requirements. I did ask Tom about that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an accessory building. Never mind. Because a principal building could be 35 feet.
Correct.
But it is well short of the 22,500.
Right.
I mean, it's like 55% of the required square footage for a second dwelling. I'm sure new zoning is going to address this. But any other questions, or can I have a motion to open public comment? We'll have at least I have a motion from Dave.
I'll second that.
Michael, second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Just tell us your name, and you have 3 minutes to ask some questions or tell us what you want to tell us.
Yeah, I'm Ann Murphy, and my land is very much.
Okay.
There's a guy, it's true, and it's not up. And just. The. Yeah, stand there. Almost. Maybe that's gotta be.
Okay.
And mines. And one of the applicants that we had in full 2000 put cement floor and kind of rebuilt that, but I don't know how well the structure is at this, but I do know that it had been kind of put back then. Just by reasons of garage. There is a driveway, it's all the way back in the garage, all
It's crushed down, yeah.
Back behind the
There is no behind the garage, right? I mean, there's 8 feet. That's what we have here, a stone patio of some kind. Okay, and that goes up to the property line, which is your property line as well. Right, okay.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's considered a curb cut.
It's a curb cut, meaning you can drive right up. It's a driveway. Right.
And footage, I'm not quite understanding the footage.
Well, in order to have a house on a lot in the village, you have to have 15,000 square feet of land. Then you can put a dwelling on it. 15,000 square feet. That's the total square footage. If you want to have a second dwelling, you have to have an additional 7,500, which means your lot has to be 22,500 square feet. Their lot is 13,000. So their lot isn't large enough for present zoning, but their house was built before there was present zoning. They're grandfathered in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it means. They want to add a 2-story building. Yeah, that is considered a dwelling, not an accessory building. It will no longer be considered a garage. It is considered a second dwelling. My definition. Yes. Yeah, on the same footprint and build a two-story dwelling of which the bottom is a garage and the top is an apartment. Okay.
Space.
Right,
Right.
but they didn't tell you what the space was for, which is, they didn't say it was an apartment. Okay. Yeah, well, a dwelling is a place that has septic and water that a person can live in. Yeah, septic, sewer and water. Yeah, that's the definition, right, Tom? That's the definition of dwelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's other requirements. You
Yeah.
have to have a kitchen and
Heat
certain
source.
size rooms and a heat source and
Yeah.
unless you're Amish.
So basically. Up. That they want, that they want to do. The dwelling above their garage, that's all that we knew.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the initial plan was to build on top of the existing garage, but then they looked at the foundation and it wouldn't support it.
Right, okay.
Well, there's
So just ask you, are you in favor as a neighboring land, are you in favor of what they're doing, or do you have concerns? And if you have concerns, what are those? Okay,
It's in a lake. And the pine tree is. The pine tree, they wanna have part of it, like that. And nobody's talked to us about what that means as far as, all the branches cut down, so the tree would be basically naked on one side and not a. And
so does your pine tree, its branches, some of them go over the property line?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
for me, because my real, my. And you're. And so.
does the pine tree actually touch close to the present garage, or is it over the present? It sits over the garage. You have a picture? So it sits over the garage now, but with a taller garage, it's going to. Okay. If you want to see it. Okay. Uh-huh.
And, that's. But we've had worked with actually since. We are in which we got when we. And then we brought the back part of the property as well. On 20, so that our. The back of our property to Hughes Street. And so we had that, we've seen, and I know this is gonna sound taking a view and everything else, but we saw all the trees on that big, where the big White House is, on that tiny little lot, going that reaches our property line as well. On Camp Street, and all those trees were cut down, every single one. And so what we thought we were going to do, why we got that tree is because we didn't think we would have anybody back. Bought that property in addition to the property that we have. So it goes from Wade Street all the way back to Camp Street. And then we got to watch all of the Camp Street part on the other side of us, on the south side. We got to watch them, everybody, I remember it was, get down the trees. And we had animals living back there. I know that doesn't matter, but it does matter to if you want to have something besides just people going up. And I know people Williamsburg wanted, I want to see, to go up as opposed to be spread out. Gee, we need to get rid, we had forestry, all that kind of thing.
Okay. All right, we appreciate that. Just to comment, what you're saying is accessory buildings, like just plain garages, are allowed to be much closer to property lines because they're generally not as large and as obnoxious, let's say, to neighbors. Dwellings are expected to be a little farther away because they can be much larger. A dwelling could be 35 feet tall, which could block a lot of sun, could do a lot of things, prevent trees being close to it and all that. So I appreciate you bringing this up. This is information we wouldn't have had. Well, you only get 3 minutes to speak. If you can say something quickly. Okay.
So and we walk in
Mm-hmm.
and I know, I think that also the one. Yeah.
Right.
So we have, there's a lot.
Appreciate you coming. Can I have a motion to close public comment? Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Just give me your gut feeling right now before we walk through any of the proposals. Not just on the project, but on the presentation of the project to us today. What are you thinking?
I'm not sure what you're asking about.
Well, I'm bothered by the fact the applicant's not here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on
I'm
that.
bothered by the fact because we can't ask any questions, we can't get any feedback from them. And
Well,
that's unfortunate.
I think that there are some things like that, they maybe could speak to the drainage, maybe, or if they have any plans to address that in the new structure.
Right.
If there is runoff of that, so that's to your point.
We can't talk to them about the possibility of it being in a different location.
Right.
When I understand a person having a lot and not wanting to put anything on the nice open space and crowd everything into one space. I understand, wanting to have things really close. So that bothers me that we can't ask them that. I think we could walk through the questions, but I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to give them, I would be hesitant to give them any permission to move ahead with this. And I'm not necessarily saying I would want to deny a variance to them. But some of the substantial natures, they might be better served by waiting to see if zoning changes and then see what variance they would actually need in light of a new zoning ordinance. Or as we walk through the things, this is what I'm just seeing, but I think we need to walk through the 5 tests and give our evaluation of those. But I find it difficult to offer permission without any kind of feedback from them.
So I've been texting back and forth with Noah. He asked if there's a Zoom link to the meeting. Ostensibly, the representative from Stream could join the meeting. Noah said he'd be here in a few minutes. He can't participate in the meeting, so
He couldn't even represent.
that's my understanding. He's recused himself because
He recused himself from sitting on this side.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have a problem with him speaking
Answering questions.
for if he's working for them directly or for the company, but
Would that fall under the 3-minute time limit? Since he would be just a member of the public?
yeah. And I don't know that he's gonna, if he's not, is he actually working on this particular project or he's just part of this company?
That I don't know.
Because if he's not working directly on the project, he's not gonna have any
Yeah.
necessarily firsthand knowledge to help us.
So he just said he's on his way.
Well, let's walk through the five things and we can decide whether we want to reopen public comment to let him speak. That sound fair? Let's at least walk through the five. Detriment to the character of the neighborhood.
An argument could be made. Yeah.
Because of the size of the structure sitting so close to the property line.
It's close. It's taller. It will be taller.
Yes.
There is the concerns that were brought up. So it could be.
Could be considered detrimental.
I would think.
It's certainly not one that we've had before where it's like a wash. No, this doesn't.
No,
make any difference
no,
at
it's
all.
not.
This one actually creates, and we have, two residents who said it's gonna make a detriment to my property and I'm the adjoining property. Okay. Detriment to the environment. I don't know that we have an answer for that. The water issue is a legitimate issue in the village, but it's an issue everywhere in the village so often, and we don't know how they might address that, that water issue. If that is an issue at all, substantial. It's definitely substantial.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they're gonna be on top of the back line. They're already in violation on the sideline. Its sideline is 15 feet for a residence.
Hmm.
The back is 30?
35.
35 for the back and 15 for the side. And we're talking 3.5 on the side and 8.5 on the back. And that's without the steps, and the steps would encroach even more. We're talking 5 feet on the back.
Right. Then we have lot size.
And lot size, it's 55% of the required lot size of what it needs in present zoning. Can they have the benefit another way?
Yes.
Not in far as lot size, but as far as setbacks.
Both setbacks. Yeah.
Both setbacks and maybe character of the neighborhood of how it would be encroaching on other neighbors. You could put it in a place maybe that is that would address that, but it doesn't address lot size. You're still gonna put a dwelling on a lot that's 55%
Right.
available. Self-inflicted, they're always self-inflicted. So,
Sense.
well, I'm wondering if the person who entered the room has anything that would help us understand the project or the owners, that we could open public comment to let him comment. If he thinks he has something, then I'll make I'll ask for a motion to open public comment again. I'm sure I have something. Can I have a motion to open public comment again? So move second.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. No problem.
I told him. Not. I'm here. So I'm sure you know. Plan is in the footprint. Effectively, have a build out. And in doing so, we are sort of constrained by the existing limitation. So it's really just, we're going vertically. They have explored other alternatives, such as removing the garage, addition, or doing other locations, but practically it just seems
Our understanding is they're raising the building to the ground and then rebuilding on that same site. Yes.
it still remains exactly how it's going to be achieved. The assumption going into it is that we're gonna work with the foundations there and reinforce the foundation to support this. There has been that discussion for, and it makes sense to try to work with what's there. My sense is it could kind of go either way. It's kind of the contractor's opinion, and he might suggest that it's easier to just raise it and go up new. But the assumption going into the original is to work with the first floor with.
So will the external stairs go above the patio? I wasn't quite clear. It seemed like they went above the patio and maybe around the side of it, which seemed,
Yeah, the cover unit side as we. The amount of volume.
right.
To get. These. On the patio side, well, the steps into.
And it looks like that's a solid thing under the staircase that is going to be storage.
Yeah.
Which is then like 1.5 from the back line. Close to the back line, are we talking then?
And are they, no, and they're familiar with the zoning that this structure is a second dwelling and not an accessory building. So they understand what it, because it's a dwelling, it's not an accessory building. Because we don't define accessory buildings as having any kind of dwelling space in them. It changes its definition. And they fully understand what a big ask that is.
I don't know.
No. Okay, because rear setback is 35 feet. And side setback is 15.
Yeah. Intended to be. Oh, it's.
Is he gonna have a bathroom?
I see something that looks a lot like a toilet and says bath.
Yeah.
The intent of the use isn't as important as, you know, the abilities.
Yeah, no, it's in kitchens.
Yeah, because it's a second dwelling. One of the things we were discussing earlier before we started going through the 5 tests is that possibly new zoning laws that are being considered will make this more feasible to do. But we can't operate with permission based on what might become law. We could operate on permission what is law. And this could come back at a time when maybe the substantial nature of the variance
Is less substantial.
is less substantial.
So. This.
A heated space.
Even a kitchen, I guess that's like.
Hmm.
The idea of, yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
The bathroom concept. Came out of exactly what you just described, a future what if. Would this be, so it's more of like putting in the infrastructure to allow
Right.
this to happen.
Right.
Whether or not it gets built out. Remains.
All of us can fully appreciate that. If you can think 10 years ahead and you can put it in now, it's cheaper than later. But that does define it.
Right, if they were to have. To I guess. And for people. Would be to put restrictions on. Another stuff, but that.
It's still substantial.
Yeah,
It's-
you know,
There's, yeah, the practicalities, I don't know what exactly I want to say, so I'm just gonna go for it. The practicalities need to be severe. for them to put it right there rather than on that huge piece of open land that they are. Like, I want to see some lions and tigers and bears. I want to see something that is preventing them from putting it where it would be at least vaguely close to legal. Especially if they're gonna raise
Yeah.
a building anyway.
Yeah.
If you're rebuilding from scratch, freaking rebuild
Yeah.
where it's illegal.
And I understand the concept that if we could use the foundation, we might save $4,000 or $5,000 in concrete costs and such like that. I understand that, but that's not the reason to necessarily give variances just because of cost. Cost actually doesn't come anywhere in our determination, as you know, a little bit, I guess, if there any other way they could do it. And they say, no, this is the only way cost wise we could do this. But you have to prove that argument. I think you have to prove that argument to us that the minor amount of saving some money forces our hand to consider more positively a variance. I just think that's
Could I make a request?
you can say anything you want. It doesn't matter.
Look at sites. And I suggest tabling it because given what I know about this site, regardless of where they put it, if they put it, it's gonna require some rare.
It's going to require for the square footage,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
but we could avoid issues of encroaching on neighbors' properties.
Right.
Which is a substantial part of it.
Sure, I appreciate that, and I just think that without, rather than, I would hate to see if you vote not in favor of it, and speak for themselves or take it on.
I don't mind us tabling it. I would expect, though, for it to come back, there has to be some new information.
Sure.
That we would have. Otherwise, we would just attach it to our next meeting that we get. I think there's another one coming down the pike, maybe. Did you sense, or is that not coming?
That's so wacky.
Okay, so I think if they bring new information that is substantial, we can schedule, if we table it, we could schedule another meeting at that point. Or we could probably bring this up at our next zoning board meeting and come to and let the owners know we're going to readdress it at this, get your ducks in a row.
Mhm.
You can share with them kind of where we're at,
Right.
Yeah. No, I think it's clear.
And your concerns that you shared, if we have another meeting, you are welcome to come again, or we'll have in the file what you gave us. Okay. If we table this, what I'm saying is when it comes back again, you're welcome to come and make comments again, as any resident can. Okay. You can, if it's for clarification of what we're doing. Yeah. Yeah, we've seen where it looks. Yeah. All right. Can I have you want to move to table it? All right, Dave, move to table it. It has nothing to do with Geneva. No, okay. Mike, second?
Yeah, I do second that.
You'll
Yeah.
second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same? Can I have a motion to close the meeting?
Make a motion to close the meeting.
Mike moves, Dave seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion, meeting is closed. Adjourned. Guess that's the right word.
Yep.